Oh, man. Here we go. Welcome to News and Opinion. I'm TJ Serletich. That's Tyler DeWitt and Troy Ramsey with me. How's everybody doing tonight? Sorry, I apologize for us running a little bit behind tonight because I needed to clear my head a little bit. I'm not going to deny it. I went hunting. I was out enjoying nature and looking forward to possibly getting a chance to create meat.
I don't think you can create meat. It's already out there. You just have to get it.
You're harvesting.
Okay,
meat.
so I was harvesting.
harvesting,
I wanted to harvest meat, but it's delicious.
Yes.
And of course, I want to make sure to get as much as I can.
Absolutely.
So I
Gotta
know.
stock them freezers.
Yeah, you got to have something to eat, right?
And then share with your friends.
Yes.
Well, I got to take something. It's going to be the last time I get any Illinois whitetail for a while, so I'm going to have to take it with me down to Texas, man.
Fair enough.
All right, so Tyler evidently had our first story of the night. So Tyler, why don't you go ahead and run with it?
Well, let me get all pulled up here. You want to talk about the Brittany Griner stuff?
The Brittany Griner stuff is actually starting to irritate me more and more every day. The more I think about it, the more irritated I'm getting about it.
Now, is Tyler going to be able to be civil enough telling this? Because you got to watch your language.
You got to watch your language, but I don't know if he's going to be civil about it.
Okay, just watch your language as the best you can.
Right.
I got to keep this PC.
It's going to be hard to with this thing, so...
I know.
The whole Brittany Griner thing has turned into this massive... Well, I had to do Mayhem alone last night, so I'm going to use the same description that I used then. It has turned into this giant, loose mastodon dung that wound up in somebody's bed. And it was very cold and stinky. That's about the best I can say about it.
All right, so for everybody who has been living under a rock or hasn't heard, Brittany Griner, the WNBA player, was traded this week. Was what, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there?
Yeah, it was Tuesday, I believe.
For Victor Bout, also known as the Merchant of Death. This is a gentleman who is Victor Bout. He's sold weapons to members of Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, ISIS, pretty much any terrorist organization. And when he was arrested, he was planning some form of attack on the United States. He was sentenced to 25 years. He served anywhere from 11 to 16 years. He was captured, I believe, under George W. Bush. Well, Brittany Griner, she got arrested shortly before the Ukraine war back in February. She was training in Russia, and she got busted for having marijuana, which she claims it's like a pain medicine or anxiety medicine. She got traded. Meanwhile, there is a Marine, I'm looking for his name right now, that is still over there, a former Marine who's still over there, who the Russians are even saying he's got to get out because he's not going to make it. And I'm going to look up his name real quick because it's not showing me in this article. But now, according to Biden, the trade was for Griner only. And Victor was being traded for Griner. Russia is now saying that the Marine was always on the table and could have been included. Paul Whelan is his name.
That's it.
So at some point during all this whole trade debacle, somebody's lying. And I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Biden's track record. I kind of think it might be Biden who's lying, and he didn't want the Marine.
I had heard from the get-go that it was one or the other they would trade for, or both, and that the Biden administration chose Brittany Griner to keep things great with the LGBTQ Q, T plus community. I messed all those letters up. I'm sorry.
Yes, you sure did.
LGBTQ plus.
I think they keep adding and subtracting. I don't know. I don't know why there's a
Well,
plus.
maybe
there.
they'll
Not
add
a
about
step.
5 more just to really mess with you, you know?
They ought to just take the whole alphabet at this point.
I think isn't at that point they've got it like LGBTQ, IAZ. I don't know. I think there's a number in.
I
one
think
of
where
them.
it's stopped at now is LGBTQ plus.
I think that's what it is.
Plus is the rest of the alphabet.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
whatever other alphabet letter may come up, that's the plus.
Okay, we'll let them have that. I mean, they take whatever they want. So
Now, of course, the Biden administration was quick to pound their chest over this and say they did a good job.
I heard them.
Yeah. However,
Ugh.
there are
Right.
still many members of the sports world who are still against this and oppose the trade. There are members of the NFL who spoke out. I'm going to look his name up real quick. Who said he's still not voting for Biden regardless.
Mm.
And let's see. Micah Parsons has apologized for criticizing Biden. However, criticizing Biden over the Brittany Griner deal. However, he did say that one thing he stands by is that Biden halved it, I guess you could say, and didn't do a full job, and said that Paul Whelan should have been part of the deal if Paul Whelan was part of the deal. Now, again, Russia could be lying, trying to make Biden look bad, but well, then again,
He doesn't need any help looking bad.
no, a bottle of yogurt can make Biden look bad. So
I've
Victor
never
Bout,
seen a bottle of yogurt.
Victor Bout
Yeah, I've
has
never seen one either.
Victor Bout has returned to Russia. There's still no word on his. He's basically disappeared. Brittany Griner.
Oh, well, you know, again, that's the merchant of death. I'll bet you right now he's back to getting everything set up, wheeling and dealing, and give it about 6 months, he'll be dealing arms again.
And
He's enjoying the vodka.
I'll say this. For all the libertards who are like, oh, I don't know why he's named the merchant of death and all. Hey, I'm going on this one. I don't care.
Oh, boy.
For all those
man, here we
idiots
go.
who say, oh, he's I don't know why it's called the merchant of death. Okay, yeah. Has he killed people? That's up in the air. We don't know. His weapons. This is somebody who funded the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. He's funded Iran, the ultra-nationalist group in Russia that wants to take Russia back to the glory days of the Soviet Union. This guy has actively for years tried to gain access to nuclear weapons from Iran and North Korea. So for anybody who wants to sit there and say, oh, he's not a terrorist, he may not be, but he's given the weapons and the funds. He is the head of the snake.
All right, so let me get one thing clear right now. I want to make this perfectly clear. I want everybody to hear this and understand it. I want it to sink in. Under no circumstances have I ever said, or will I ever say, that Brittany Griner should have stayed in Russia.
No.
I will not say that because she is an American citizen. She should have been here. Now, let's look at, she was busted for marijuana possession in a country that does not allow marijuana. On the other hand, we had a credited arms dealer who was funding all sorts of organizations that looked to do harm, not only in our country, but worldwide, for his own personal profit, mind you, that we had captured.
Who hates America.
Who hates America.
Oh, and so does Brittany.
I think her tune might change, and I'm waiting to find out.
If her tune don't change,
her tune ain't
it ain't going to. It ain't going.
Why we got a Marine sitting over there who fought for our country and loves our country, and he's still sitting there.
Well, I got a good idea.
I wasn't done.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm angered.
Paul Whelan was arrested on espionage charges, more than likely doing his duty for the country. He's sitting there keeping his mouth shut. But here's another one. about a year prior to Brittany getting arrested, I don't have his name. I'll have to look it up. But there is another gentleman there that was also arrested on marijuana charges who is an American citizen. And nobody thought to talk for him either.
Mm-hmm.
Victor was worth a minimum of 2. Now, if you're going to pull the 2 out that oh man, you're going to skip Paul and try to get something more out for him, I mean, no, Paul Whelan should have been coming back. But if you're going to skip over him and you're going to go, well, his charge was a lot worse, which there are people now saying, then fine. You got the other American citizen over there that was there a year longer. Bring him home at the same time. It's the same charge. The only reason Brittany Griner is home right now is because it was so high profile and the administration decided to grab a hold of that high profile and use it to their advantage. Oh, look, we got her home. Look at what we gave up. Now, this is not by any means the largest failure on a trade to bring somebody home. The largest one, in my opinion, still happened during the Obama administration when they traded 5 top Taliban Al-Qaeda members for 1 person.
And
no, that should have been a platoon coming home.
Mm-hmm.
The one who had the best stance on all of this, in my honest opinion, would have been George W. Bush right after 9/11 when he said, "We do not negotiate with terrorists." Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble.
Now, if I was president, I'd be like, oh, you got Brittany Griner? Oh, we'll trade you Megan Rapinoe for her. We can't tolerate her. Maybe some
Megan Rapinoe?
do her some good. Yeah, that's the one I can't stand. All right, now, here's my thought, okay?
Tyler, there's a list of them you can't stand.
Oh, there's a list growing. All right, so 2021, let me take
gobble, gobble.
Let me take y'all back. 2021 summer.
Well, think about it. Every time George W. Bush talked, he looked like a turkey. Let me tell you what we're going to do. Gobble, gobble.
Is that why he said nuclear instead of nuclear?
Yes.
All right, so let me take y'all back. Japan, Tokyo Olympics back in 2021. There was Simone Biles, okay? She is a gold medal gymnastics athlete. She decided to sit out because she has very, very bad ADHD, attention deficit hyper disorder. And there's one of these stunts she did. She was practicing. I'm getting ahead of myself. She has ADHD. Now, she takes Ritalin to help fight that, control that, right? Well, problem is in Japan, Ritalin is illegal. You can't bring it. You can't take it. You can't have it anywhere on you. So she chose to go to Tokyo to participate without her medication. She was there for about a month. Yeah. There's literally a stunt. You can find the video. She does the stunt. She does a flip. And halfway through, she messes up. Now, she's jumping like several feet in the air. You can fall and break a bone easily from
break
that.
Your neck.
Yeah. And she chose to sit out because she didn't have her medication and she wasn't going to break the law. Now, Simone Biles, in my opinion, if you're going to another country, what's legal here in the U.S. is not going to be legal in another country, like in this case, Ritalin, or in Brittany Griner's situation, marijuana. Simone Biles was not going to play, chance.
Like the chance game, yeah.
Right. She was going to abide by Japan's laws and be like, all right, I won't go over with the drug. It'll still be in my system, and it was. And they let her go with that. They were like, that's fine, that's fine. But what gives Brittany Griner the ability to go over there with weed, have it on her, thinks she can get away with it, was smuggling it, and thinks that, it's because I'm this, I can get away with it. No, you can't. You're in Russia.
Wasn't it in the form of a vape pen or something like that?
Yes, it was in a vape pen. Now, let me go ahead and throw you something. Tyler brought up a good point, bringing up that things are different in other countries, and you can get away with everybody's got their own laws.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my own personal experience, and we're going to compare for a moment, just a moment, the United States and Germany.
All right.
Okay. So let's go back to the 90s for a minute, or the early 2000s, say, when many beers ago.
And concussions.
And concussions. Now let's go back a little bit. If there was a bar fight, okay, back then it didn't usually escalate to gun violence. It was just, hey, you ended up going outside and these are what you needed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So if there was if there was a bar fight, it was generally okay, they fight it out. Come on, guys, let's go ahead and write your tickets for disorderly conduct. Go on your way. Now, obviously, it has escalated a little bit more. They take it a little more seriously today. Now you get a night overnight in jail, a cool-off period, and you get a misdemeanor battery charge.
Not after the first.
All right, bar fight, big deal. What would happen at that same bar in we'll say St. Louis, Missouri? What would happen in that same bar if a woman decided to get up onto a table and strip all of her clothes off and then climb down and just walk around the rest of the night naked?
Well,
there'd be a lot of people doing that, but what else is going to happen?
Well, she's going to go to jail for indecent exposure.
Yep.
Correct.
She may also endanger herself because you never know. There might be some loony who's like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to get passed around like a freshman girl at a frat party.
Right. So, yeah, she would get... no, it's not a strip club. I'm just saying she'd be arrested for indecent exposure. That it would be a whole drawn-out thing. It'd be just... It's insane.
Oh, it'd be all over social media, too.
Oh, absolutely.
There would be video all over.
Now, you flip the coin and you go over to Germany. If there is a bar fight that erupts in Germany and it's two people in the bar fight, they don't care. They come in with the SWAT team, beat the crap out of both of them, throw them in the paddy wagon, take them to jail.
A SWAT team.
Yes.
Now flip it over again. What happens to a bar fight in Ireland?
Bets.
Just a typical Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Typical Tuesday. Nothing.
No, in Germany, they bring in the SWAT team. They're arrested. They're put in jail. They sit in jail until they go in front of the magistrate.
Yeah, which you don't want to be on the wrong end of that.
However, there were multiple times that I sat in different places in public, and I would see women, men, everybody, didn't matter, that would ride roller skates or skateboards or run, and they'd go by naked.
In Germany.
In Germany.
And that was perfectly okay?
Nobody gave it a second look.
I'm moving to Germany.
That's
100% legal, no problem.
But yet, don't they in Germany have a law about smoking in public, or in like certain areas you can't like do certain things on the sidewalk? Or
well, I mean, don't pee on the sidewalk. That's for sure.
I thought you couldn't like spit on the sidewalk too in Germany.
They don't like it, but it's one of them things. If you walk out of the bar and you got to hack up a Luger, and you're like, they don't really say much.
Maybe I'm thinking of England. You can't do.
You might be thinking of Britain, yeah.
Yeah,
but no. In Germany, they're just like, oh, whatever. You're naked, cool. Now, if somebody tries, if it's a young lady and there's a guy that tries to accost the young lady, that is naked at that time. I mean, here comes the SWAT team again, and he gets an even bigger beat down than, the bar fight. We can use DUI laws as a great example and use Germany and America again. In America, you get a DUI, you get your field sobriety test, you blow in the machine, you go to jail, blah, blah, blah. They do their thing, right?
Right.
Just to make sure they've got concrete evidence, the Deutsche Polizei, if they pull you over for DUI, they have the right to slam your ass on the hood, pull your arm out, and draw blood right there.
I don't think I'm going to Germany.
And
so they're medically trained.
They are trained as part of the job to be able to draw blood for a DUI test.
German police. Stern?
Yes, the German police, the Deutsche Polizei.
Stern but fair.
Stern but fair. Half the doctors I know can't even hit one of my veins. Like, I'm going to let one of those crazy bastards try.
I think
they might actually try to get it from your penis.
I think if the Germans tried, they'd be like, "Oh,
they're going to need a bigger needle.
We need a big needle for this one."
Oh, you see the size of that? Bring out the maximum needle.
But no, I mean, seriously, they will draw blood, and I've seen them do it. They will draw blood That's right crazy. There on the side of the road, and then they go, "Oh, okay, drop, put it in the. Oh, you're that drunk." Off to jail they go.
Wow.
That is crazy.
So
Germans.
So it's one of them cases of if you're going to travel abroad, first of all, know where the hell you're going.
Right.
And
don't go to Germany.
If you have a remote question about whether or not something might be okay or not, don't do it.
Don't think you're above the law because you're this or you're that or you're all tough stuff.
Oh, I'm not going to do this because, hey, I'm a basketball star. I can get away. No, don't do it.
No, the next big trip I plan on going on is either Scotland or Ireland.
Ireland, I had a lot of fun. I've never been to Scotland. I'd like to go. Tyler would absolutely love Amsterdam.
Oh, really?
Oh, Amsterdam. I'd love to go there, too.
Yep, the Cannabis Cafe.
Do that.
Ooh.
I want to go to Hungary. I want to go to Hungary or so I can get over to Transylvania and check all that out, see my family heritage and such.
You going to bring back a vampire for a souvenir?
Hungary is...
Possibility.
Hungary is a little bit of a different scenario. It's very difficult. And the reason it is that you have to be extremely careful in Hungary where you are going and what you are doing and who you are around. Because Hungary still has a lot of the old laws.
Uh-huh.
I'm royalty over there, buddy. I don't give a shit.
Well, you think that, but you're also American, and as far as they're concerned, your royalty don't matter. Because
I'm taking it back over. No, I'm taking it back.
Well, you can keep dreaming. I'm
my last name literally translates to that royalty, so
I mean, Zerledich is a Hungarian name. I was in Tazar, and we went out and had a good time. It was a rail mission that took us there, and we ended up going downtown in Tazar, and we ended up at this bar. And when we walked into the bar, the whole place, I mean, World War II Jeep, anti-aircraft gun, American flags all over the place. There was a 50 cal mounted up on the wall. I mean, we're sitting there thinking, okay, this might be something a little welcoming to us.
Heaven.
We each walked up to the bar, and I went to order a beer. And the bartender looked at me and said, "American filth is not welcome here," and spit in my face.
Really?
Oh.
No, wait a minute. Okay, so this place had all this American World War II equipment, and they said American filth's not welcomed here?
They pretty much stole it and said, "Ha ha, we stole this from America," and that's what they were doing. We did steal a couple of the flags back. We somehow stole the 50 cal.
Oh, good.
We couldn't drag the Jeep out, but
just drive it through the wall.
It was. But I mean, literally spit in my face. American filth is not welcome here.
Wow.
So when you say, and I showed him my ID, it said Zerletich, plain as day on it. They didn't care.
And where was this at again? Hungary?
In Tazar, Hungary.
Yeah, that's where I would have ended up beating them up, and then the German police come and drag me out and give me a blood test.
In Budapest, Americans have been known to be murdered and thrown in ditches.
Yeah.
Or not even be found again. Doesn't matter what your last name is. They don't care. You walk over, or you get over there and you're speaking like we do, they don't care. They will kill you.
And it will never go
I better learn how to speak their language.
It'll go unsolved.
I better learn how to speak the language before I go over.
I mean, when we did our mission into Moscow, there was a group of us that went. We had a very specific mission that we were taking care of. We were working with Soviet military, well, not Soviet then, it was Russian army, directly helping them with different American. It was part of an agreement that Clinton came up with, so you get the idea there. But we were teaching them some American force security stuff. So it was more defensive that we were teaching them, not offensive. We stuck with these guys, and they would tell us, "You don't go there. This is a bad place. Oh, we go here. This is good place." And they escorted us around Moscow. We had a blast. We had an absolute blast. Probably one of my fondest memories was that 2 weeks in Moscow. It was also when I tried Starka pepper vodka, and oh my God.
Pepper vodka?
Oh, that was good.
I bet that is good.
Oh, it was really good. So it literally, you dial back again, and you learn where you're going, respect the customs of where you are going, and hey, here's a clue. If you don't know what to say, shut up.
Now, of course, because of all this that's been going on, Democratic lawmakers have been trying to justify swapping Brittany Griner for Victor Bout, whatever his name is. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas defended President Biden's decision. The Congresswoman appeared on MSNBC's The Readout on Friday to discuss the exchange. Lee defended the exchange, saying while Bout is a bad guy, he has not killed any Americans himself. She also went on to say, "Let me say this, no one knows the story of the weapons dealer, if you will, and as the facts would tell them, he was sentenced to 25 years. He served 11 to 16 years. I'm pretty sure if he served 11 to 16 years, we'd know it." She says, I can't remember the exact number, but in actuality, his weapons might have been used to kill Americans, but he has not killed Americans. I'm not saying he's not a nasty bad guy, but I will tell you that I believe that Americans should know that the sovereignty of their nation will always be behind them. And they will never be forgotten. Brittany Griner deserved this fight that we put forth. So does Paul Whelan. All right. Again, like I said earlier, this guy funded terrorists who did turn around and kill Americans. So in a sense, that's like TJ says, "Hey Tyler, my bow's broken. My bow's broken. Can I borrow your bow to go hunt a deer?" Yeah, sure. TJ takes his deer out and shoots. Shut up, TJ.
You don't have a bow.
I got one that fires bows in 5.56, so that would work.
Anyway.
But there's a lot of Democratic lawmakers, but the problem is the huge criticism that faces them in regards to the Paul Whelan situation and the fact that this guy was arrested when he was planning something against Americans. So they can spin this all they want. They can sit there and say, "Oh, well, he never killed people. He
orchestrated
it. He's an orchestrator. He's a dangerous tool out there. Nobody cared about Osama bin Laden until he dropped 2 towers and then blew up the USS Cole and dropped the Twin Towers. I mean, you think this guy's going to just go back to Russia and be, I reformed, comrades. No, he's going to get back to it. He's gone. They can't even find him.
He's already disappeared. So this is one of the things that I look at with this, and I go, and I come back and I say, there's no reason any American citizen should be over there, period. I don't care who they are. They should not be there. If they are being detained for something that we would look at and say, this is petty, what are you doing? No. They sentenced, the one thing I will say was pretty harsh is they sentenced Brittany Griner to, what was it, 10 years in a forced labor camp?
11 years.
11 years. For a vape pen?
Yep.
What did they get for pleasuring themselves in public? Life?
It was a vape pen, and it was a THC pen at that.
Right.
Yep.
So it's
11 years hard labor.
And the thing is like, okay, that lady that Tyler was just talking about and how she was talking, we did all this for Brittany. I can't get past the fact that Brittany Griner hates America so much, and that's all she talked about was hating America, and we did this to bring her back, and I can't get past that.
I swear, if she comes back and starts getting on the same rhetoric again, I'm going to be sitting there yelling, I hope someone kept the receipt.
Yeah, what are they going to do? They're going to go get Victor back and go, here you go, America. Give us back Brittany.
Yeah. No.
Is there a return policy?
I don't think there is. No.
Excuse me, Vladimir Putin. The item I traded you for is defective. We need to exchange her. Is she even going to be able to play this year? I think it's too late for her to get on, is it?
I don't think she should play.
She is still a part of the whatever the Phoenix basketball team is in the WNBA.
I don't even watch the NBA.
It does not sound like she's going to go back to active play this season. All right, so moving on.
Hey, if they don't let that Kaepernick guy play for taking a knee, why should she get to play?
That's a good point. Why should? Okay, here's a better idea.
She legit hates America, and all he did was take a knee because of the freaking national anthem.
Our WNBA athlete is defective. Can we kept the receipt? Can we also give you Megan Rapinoe as well? Call it even. Just give us the Marine
and take Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick's done.
All right, so moving on.
Yeah.
Down in Arizona, we see something light back up on the immigration and the border security.
Oh, I was going to talk about this too.
Republican Governor Doug Ducey is on his way out of office. That's how you say his name, Ducey.
I was going to say Ducey.
I was about to say, did you say a dirty word?
But no. They have.
I love his border wall.
he has been taking old shipping containers, double stacking them, and then putting razor wire on top of them as his border wall.
Which governor is he a state of?
Arizona.
Arizona.
However, there is a new incoming governor, Democratic Governor-elect Katie Hobbs.
Oh, yes.
Said she is looking at options now on how to dismantle this wall and reconstitute the containers.
I might have something on her too.
One of the ideas that she
I like her idea.
One of her ideas that she's floated is repurposing the containers as affordable housing for homeless and low-income individuals and families.
Oh, so you were going to have them live in connexes, basically?
Pretty much.
It's not a bad idea if they're done right.
No, actually, you know what? I've been looking at this as a possible option after I get settled in Texas that I might do is I might purchase a piece of property and actually buy about, 4, maybe 5 of those 40-foot shipping containers, put 3 of them side by side, put 2 on top. I could take 2 and turn them into a garage going in the side rather than going in, like you would for a semi-trailer.
Welcome to Fort Zerletich.
And then build the staircase up and turn the top part into a 3-bedroom apartment.
You absolutely could. You could do all sorts of stuff. They're structurally sound.
Yeah, they're very structurally sound, and that's actually becoming very popular in the Southwest. Another big popular thing is the barn dominiums.
I've thought about buying a few of them here and making storage container, one for like storage, and then just a couple just to have, and
the other one would be his alcohol stash.
You're gonna need a trailer.
Hey man, we were not gonna bring that up. I was gonna bury this son of a gun into the ground, and the deeper it goes, the cooler it stays.
Why not get one that's already refrigerated? That way, all you got to do is have the diesel truck pull in and fill it up about once a week.
Reefer unit. That'd be great. Oh, now you're thinking.
He's sitting there. Why didn't I think of that?
No kidding.
All of a sudden, it's like, oh, that's.
I can even get one of those 16-foot reefers, and that'd be great. I got some calls to make. I'll be back.
You know what you need? You need a 53-footer because you need to have the divider, so you've got one for meat and one for alcohol.
I put 2 side by side and make a party bar in the middle.
Not a bad idea.
No.
But you see what I'm saying is there's a lot of this stuff that's out there that is still usable for different things. And that's one of the, I don't disagree with what she's looking at, save one big issue when you talk about the homeless and low income people. Is it going to be the homeless that's spewing across the border? Or is it going to be our homeless veterans that are out there needing help?
It needs to go to the veterans because they're the ones that need it the most. But at the same time, if she takes the wall down, then you're going to have a whole bunch of people coming across the border.
They do. So they have a reason for saying good fences make good neighbors. And, no fence usually means that within a week, somebody's staring in at your wife.
Well, I mean, with those connexes, I mean, don't know. If you do it correctly, there is no walls, no windows.
And these here, I'm seeing pictures of them.
Oh yeah,
and they're double stacked, and they got the razor wire on the top.
And I mean, it was a quick, affordable way to take something, repurpose it, and recycle it.
Welcome
and seal the border down.
Welcome to Wall City. It doubles as a wall.
They were. It's in court right now because somebody tried to say it was illegal for him to do.
The federal government tried to say it was illegal for Governor Ducey to do. And what he did is he turned around and he filed a lawsuit against the federal government
Yeah.
and fired back. What was it? I've got it here on AD.
Responded October 21st by suing federal officials over their objections.
And
Sending
sent
the
it
dispute
to
to
court.
court.
So you've also got environmental agencies such as the Center for Biological Diversity, which, by the way, is a step down from the Sierra Club.
Oh, yeah.
The Sierra Club, who boycotts me because I like eating meat.
Oh, they'd hate me. They'd hate me. I ate, of all things, a chicken earlier today.
A lot of damage could be done here between now and early January, said Russ McSpadden. The Center for Biological Diversity. What the hell?
Now, keep in mind that you go a little bit to the east and you go over to Texas. Governor Greg Abbott in Texas, who just got his third term, by the way, is still building along that border and has gotten a lot of criticism for busing migrants to Democrat-led cities like New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Los Angeles.
Or sanctuary cities.
You mean them sanctuary cities they talk about are still having trouble? But they call themselves sanctuary cities, DJ. It's so unfair.
It's so unfair.
I want to point out, too.
My butt bleeds for them.
I want to point out, too. Okay, I want to point something out. The governor of Texas is in a wheelchair, and he's still doing a better job than the idiot in the White House. Somebody explain to me how Biden's so terrible he's getting torn up by this guy.
There's a quote from Ducey that says, Arizona is doing the job that Joe Biden refuses to do. Secure the border any way we can.
Yes.
That's
and I
great.
mean, it gives you an idea. This border deal, look, the border has not been secure for a long time, but how bad it's gotten now. Again, if you've never been there and you've never seen it, don't talk to me about it because you don't understand.
Did you know Biden went down to Arizona last week? And it was a member of NBC News asked him, are you going down to the border? Are you going to go see? He was going to Arizona to have a dispute about building microchips and whatnot because there's still a shortage of processors in the country. They asked him, NBC asked him point blank, are you going down to visit the border while you're down there? He said, no, I have more important things to deal with. You stupid idiot. Wow. He was only in Arizona for 4 hours and back in Washington. Then the next day, you got a Border Patrol agent who's chasing down illegal immigrants in the back of a truck. He's chasing him on an ATV. He wrecks and dies. So, okay, what's more important? You shuffling out there like a stupid idiot, or the fact that people, both Border Patrol agents and illegal immigrants, are dying over there?
Mm-hmm.
What? How? Gee, I think if I was president, I'd say, they'd be like, are you going to the border? I'm going right now. Idiot.
You would think. But this has been the nature of what's been going on. I mean, again, I used to live in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and, you know, I was in Anthony, Texas for a little bit, which was just in between Las Cruces and El Paso, Texas. So I was literally in borderland, okay?
Uh-huh.
Now, the state of New Mexico has declared itself a sanctuary state. Thanks to the governor there, Michelle Lujan Grisham. The state of New Mexico declared themselves a sanctuary state. Here is what happened with this. They started flooding into Las Cruces. Las Cruces in 2006 was one of the top 10 cities to retire in. It was a very beautiful city. It was also the home of New Mexico State University. There was very little crime. It was a nice place.
Okay.
I have friends that still live there, and today, to give you an idea, they now suffer with gun violence, rampant drugs. People are moving out of the city in droves. The job market has been tanked. They have people sleeping in the streets all over the place now. The whole town has gone downhill. Please enlighten me where this is a good thing.
Because all these cities that want to sit there, and you notice most of the cities that want to sit there and say they were a sanctuary city, they're up north, away from the border, nowhere near it. And the ones who actually decide to label themselves sanctuary cities close to the border, they're the ones where everybody crossing the border is going to walk into. They're the ones that's closest. They're not. A lot of these people that are crossing the border, look, they've crossed Mexico, parts of the South, other countries to get to the U.S. They're not going to want to move further north. They're like, I'm done. I'm sitting right here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm right. Las Cruces, this is where I'm going to be at. Everybody wants to sit there and say, I'm going to be a sanctuary city. I'm going to say sanctuary city. No one actually considers the ramifications when it comes to deciding that.
So we literally had the border opened up and all of these people have flooded in. And then it was, well, what do we do with them? And okay, Governor Abbott turned around and said, I got an idea. Hey, do you want to go to a sanctuary city? Get on the bus.
Hey, have you ever seen Martha's Vineyard? No. Hey, get on the bus.
Tyler.
It's true.
I know.
And I mean, Governor Abbott's doing what I think he thinks is the right thing, and honestly, I agree with him. But I would have taken it a step further.
Well, okay. How would you have taken it a step further?
Oh, you really want to go to San Francisco? What's Nancy Pelosi's address?
Didn't they do that with Kamala Harris? Hey, you want to?
They did.
You want to be the vice president? Get on the bus.
They did. They can't do it at the White House, but they got Kamala pretty good.
Parked right in front of her house after a day after she said there's no immigration issue. There was an immigration issue.
And that's just it. People don't realize how massive this really is. Is our infrastructure designed to be able to take this?
No.
Can our agriculture keep up with it?
No.
Can our reserves, fuel reserves, all of that, can that keep up with it?
Nope.
To call it as I see it, and give my opinion on the matter, the honest to goodness reason I see them opening the border and handing out everything like it's candy on Halloween was simply put for the purpose of building votes and creating a larger base for the Democrat side of the aisle.
That's all. That's why every time there's a Democrat in office, the border just floods. And you didn't see this with Bush. You saw it with Obama.
Yeah.
You didn't see it with Trump. You've seen it with Biden. I think we might have seen it with Clinton too. I can't remember.
There was a little bit with Bill Clinton, yes. But you didn't see it with Reagan.
No.
You did not see it with George Bush, H.W. Bush.
Nope.
You didn't see it with Nixon.
Well, I can't remember.
I am not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
Nixon spent more time talking into his tape recorder than anything else.
No. Damn.
check out everything through Watergate. But I mean, seriously. Oh, you want to go to Chicago? Okay. You are to pull this bus up in front of Lori Lightfoot's house. Open the doors and do not leave until they have all gotten off of that bus.
Hey, did somebody order 200 immigrants and a pepperoni pizza? That's what you get for being a sanctuary city, you gross nematode.
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 Well, I can't curse, so there you go.
Nematode.
That was,
Has Lightfoot done anything?
Not
Even
this
the mess she was dealt,
again.
Lori's delivering. And she was cool during COVID.
Hey, did you order thousands of new jobs and a pepperoni?
Told you she delivers.
I like Tyler's version better.
Yeah. Hey, did you order thousands of illegal immigrants and a pepperoni?
Hey, Lori, here's your votes. Oh, they're all
Oh,
they're all back in. No, Lori, here's your votes, and here are your thousands of new jobs you're wanting. Because guess what? You're the sanctuary city.
Right.
Put them to work someplace.
I mean, I'm
Hey,
telling you what, if I was
we
to go
bust
ahead
your votes
and
in for you.
if I was in Governor Abbott's shoes, I wouldn't just stop there. I'd be like, take this bus inside the garage at J.B. Pritzker's mansion that's missing 18 toilets.
The one in Springfield.
No.
Oh wait, the one in Springfield's the one missing the toilets.
No, he took them out of his personal mansion in Chicago.
I just want to say it right now, okay? This is what I'm going to say. If Lori Lightfoot gets reelected, I want her speech to be. I'm going to do my best voice of her. Well, first of all, I want to thank Governor Greg Abbott and Governor DeSantis of Florida for the votes. And please don't trade me to Russia.
Yeah, they might try to give us Victor back for Lori Lightfoot.
No. We give you Putin. You keep this. You keep this.
We'll give you Putin. You keep her. Oh, man. I wonder what would happen if we tried to trade Marjorie Taylor Greene to Russia.
They would just surrender.
This would be like, we sell to USA.
That chick is crazy. She is cray cray. They'd be like, no.
Wait, she's a what?
Cray cray.
Oh,
That's crazy times 2.
I keep forgetting.
Crazy times 2.
I keep forgetting. Sexy Gen Xer, millennial.
Oh, no. You got it wrong. Let me explain. Don't really care. Mr. Springfield belongs in a retirement home.
What? I'm not that old.
Okay, boomer.
No.
What? Me and T's are the same age.
No, I'm not going to wash my mouth out with freaking soap now after that one. That was disgusting. Okay, baby. Okay,
Actually,
baby.
you know what you need? You need to wash your mouth out with a Tide Pod for that one.
Well, I'm not a Lori Lightfoot voter. Come on.
Now, we've got all these things that are going on in the country right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
I mean, I'm 35. I'm a millennial.
See, there you go.
Well, that explains a lot, Irene.
See, you're not in Loan Company. Irene's a millennial. Brittany's a millennial. All right. So with everything that we've got going on in this country right now, we're seeing and what we're dealing with at this point, we have the border crisis. We have our financial infrastructure is taking a nosedive daily and continues to fall apart. we have multiple different issues coming up. We have a fuel shortage.
Just the other day, we were at the gas station. Gas was $3.14. My mom goes, "Oh look, gas is down." I was like, "No, Mom, gas is still up."
Yeah.
Once it gets
She's like,
below,
"What?"
once it gets below 250, I'll say gas is down.
Yeah, I
Now,
was like, "No,
let me-
Mom, gas
let me-
is still up."
Let me continue down this road, though. We even have we have an energy crisis that's building because of failed policies from the administration.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all of this going on in this country that we need to deal with here. What have some of the Democrat lawmakers decided to do at this point?
Not a thing.
Representatives James McGovern from Massachusetts, Mark Pocan from Wisconsin, and Tony Carter from Louisiana had headed to Cuba, and they have met with the Cuban president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, and leaders in the Cuban Congress and its foreign ministry. The U.S. Embassy in Cuba has informed the Associated Press of this today.
Because socialism works so well.
If this was another show, I would make a comment just on how he looks right now.
If this was another show, I would be just flaring right now.
Miguel Diaz-Canel, or Camel, I guess is how you pronounce it, C-A-M-E-L, Camel. We addressed our differences and topics of shared interest. We affirmed our willingness to improve bilateral relations.
No.
So, I mean, what is this? They're working on making Cuba the 51st state. Is that the next one here?
Why not? We already have half their people here.
You're not wrong.
Now, this meeting actually follows a number of different visits in past months by the Biden administration to Cuba to discuss migration.
All I can think about is Cuba Missile Crisis. Cuba Missile Crisis. Cuba Missile Crisis.
Yeah, well, okay, but think about it. Everything in Cuba, it was relaxed under the Obama administration, tightened back up under the Trump administration, and now they're relaxing it again.
Relaxing it to the point where what's Cuba's biggest export? The cigars? That's it.
But they're good.
They are.
Yeah, they're so good.
They are good.
I mean, oh man, the cigars are awesome.
Yeah. Can we make something happen where we can at least get their cigars?
Well, I think what they're trying to do, I know that under the Obama administration, they had gotten rid of the trade embargo with Cuba. So we are now actually getting Cuban cigars in this country.
They cost a lot, though.
They cost an arm and a leg.
Anything that's that good is worth it.
I mean, you might have to give up your firstborn.
What's the most?
Deal.
What's the most? What's the most you guys have? What's the most you guys have paid for a cigar?
I got one on the Riverwalk down in San Antonio when I was down there the last time, and I paid about $45 for a good Cuban.
Okay, Sage.
I used to say $45 to $50 for a good Cuban.
I paid $80 for a 2-pack called Quartz El Presidente. That's what they were called. They were pure Cubans. I tell you what, best money I've ever spent. Those cigars were awesome.
But yeah, you got two, so I mean that
Yeah.
justifies.
Cuba does have a lot of things that are going for it. And if they could get away from dealing with a lot of what we've dealt with while it was still under, good old Uncle Fidel, and start leaning more into a work environment of cooperation, I mean, Cuba would be an amazing tourist spot. I would love to go visit Havana.
Just
Well, yeah,
let's
they-
not take any of their ideas
Look at
on their
that,
government.
Yeah, they got that Cuban Bam Bam down there. That's pretty good stuff from what I hear too.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to check that one out.
And then you also got
No, I don't do bad things. I just want cigars.
you got the bar life down there too. You saw a bit of that. You saw a bit of that in Godfather Part 2. Just imagine how that's changed through the years.
Oh, I bet it's still a wonderful. Yeah, I bet it's a blast still.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
is,
bet
you
it.
know,
I bet it's not laced with fentanyl like everything else around here.
No,
no,
that's,
I mean, in Cuba, you have a welcoming people, but they were just under Castro for so long.
I'm okay with Cuba as long as they're not like going down there. Hey, how'd you make socialism work? You didn't.
Wow, Lori
What voice
Lightfoot,
was
your voice
that?
changed.
That's not Lori Lightfoot. That's just
You
me
got deeper.
really angry.
This is Lori Lightfoot.
This is just me ready to turn the toupee off of Joe Biden's head.
But no, I mean, so
Wow.
they really are a welcoming people. Have you ever met any Cuban people?
I've actually worked with a couple Cuban people. They their families
I have.
their families came over here and became actual citizens of the United States, and they're actually pretty nice. They're pretty good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I got to
Cool.
hang out with them, you know.
What's your experience been?
I met a couple in Springfield whenever I lived up there, and they were super cool. I was helping one dude work on his car. His name was Raphael, which I thought was kind of cool. He wasn't a Ninja Turtle like I was expecting, but whatever.
Dang it!
But he was super cool and laid back. His favorite beer was Corona, and
I can
I was
believe that.
down with that. So we drank a lot of Corona working on this car, and come to find out, the only thing wrong with was the alternator, like I said in the first place. But he didn't think so, and he was like, "Trust me, I'm Cuban," and I was like, "Okay, man, whatever."
Just
But I think it's the alternator.
But you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying here is the Cubano people are amazing people once you get to know them.
is that
Yeah, he was super relaxed and super
Is-
cool.
is that
And
their
his
term?
wife kept bringing out these kick-ass snacks
Right?
the whole freaking time. She was just in the kitchen cooking things.
Yeah.
The whole freaking
Is that-
time.
Is that what
I
you
said
refer-
freaking.
Is that how they're referred to as Cubano? I've never heard that term before.
Yeah, Cubano.
Okay, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
that's-
how he was all like, I'm Cubano. That's how he referred to himself.
Well, the
It's
Cuban,
Cubano.
like I said, the Cubans I met, you know, they're pretty cool. I mean, I never had a problem with them. Hung out with them, got to learn a little bit of their lifestyle and whatnot, and they're very culturally diverse in Cuba. They got different.
Oh, yeah.
Like you
That-
think, oh, it's just one area. No, it's like seriously, there's so many versions.
He did
And
make
it's
fun of my
amazing
long
that-
hair, though.
Huh?
He did make fun of my long hair. He said, "You a big guy, but why the long hair?"
And they don't, they're kind of learning the diversity in America at
Yeah.
the same time. So that was actually just a natural question. But what I'm getting at is the Cuban people themselves. Look at how small that island is and how widely diverse they are just on that small island. And then you got Gitmo.
Why you got to bring up Gitmo?
And I think that's a part of what they're trying to negotiate for. They want us to close Gitmo
Why?
and
Why?
give it back to Cuba.
It'll never happen.
And the Marines are like, good luck.
Yeah, it'll never happen. The Marines, they love Gitmo.
The thing about Guantanamo Bay was the biggest reason they complained about it before was Castro hated it.
We bought that land off him fair and square. He got his money. He can't complain.
Yeah, there you go. So Irene actually put up the whole how they actually say in Spanish that it means that they're Cuban. And yeah, Cubano is how they refer to themselves. So you get an idea.
Cuando español dice que se le dice cubano.
Mhm.
It means
Means
they're
that they're
Cuban.
Cuban.
That's a lot of words just to say they're Cuban.
I'm Cuban.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you want them to do? Get over to America and go, I cube steak.
No, we're good on that.
Teach. What the hell?
Well, I mean, come on. I'm just asking a serious question.
You're not wrong. A cube stick.
So the runoff voting is done in Georgia.
Oh boy.
The Georgia runoff is done, and they have elected Warnock.
Who?
The Democratic candidate.
I was say that sounded like somebody from the World of Warcraft.
Give me a second here.
I am the master of destruction.
Okay.
I
Can we get a recount?
Can we get a recount?
It said Democratic. We need a recount. Isn't that
So
the
it
automatic
was-
rule?
Raphael Warnock that won 51.4% of the vote to Herschel Walker's 48.6% of the vote.
Yeah, that's too
But-
close. We need a recount.
But that is not the interesting thing.
Uh-oh.
Okay, what's the interesting thing?
The interesting thing now is it is 49-49 because Friday, and if I can find her name, if I can find who I'm talking about, one of the senators that was registered Democrat
Oh, yeah.
changed over to independent.
Yes.
Oh,
She dropped the Democratic Party.
Correct.
Drop it like it hot. Drop it like it hot.
actually, it's probably drop it like it's not because the Democratic Party's not looking so hot these days.
No, they are not. But they sure are getting all those thousands of jobs from the sanctuary buses.
Did
I
you
had
order
just
a large
mentioned the other
pepperoni?
I think I have her
And
name.
Tyler's aneurysm.
It comes later.
Comes later. Did you say Tyler's aneurysm or handurysm?
Yeah, either way.
Let's see. Christine Sinema. Senator
That's
Christine Sinema leaves Democratic Party and registers as independent.
Oh,
Now, one of her biggest things, I mean, she's very. I like her. I got to admit, I like her. I like the way she thinks. And the thing I like about her, which Sage will argue with me,
maybe not.
and Tyler will poo-poo. But the thing I like about her is her voting record shows her being very economically conservative. What do we got to do to keep the country running? But socially, she's on that liberal side. And her big one is always been, what do we got to do to pay for it?
Okay, so she's looking at a way to do things right.
She's looking at how to do it right. She puts common sense to her voting. She is very liberal on the social side of things, which I do like.
Yeah.
However, she votes conservative side on the money and goes, we've got to be able to pay for all of this. So now with her actually moving to independent, she made the statement that she feels now she is better able to serve her constituents and she's better able to serve in the Senate because she's got friends on both sides of the aisle and she can walk across the aisle and talk to any of them and keep things moving.
Which I like that because we were just talking at our last session, if you will, our last show,
Mm-hmm.
about how it's going to be interesting to see how the Congress and the House works,
Correct.
and if they work together or if they're going to be button heads. So
Now
Have-
she's good friends with Kevin McCarthy, who is looking like he's going to be tapped to be the next Speaker of the House. She's also friends with Chuck Schumer. And she's friends with Mitch McConnell. I mean, she knows how to work within the system and talk on both sides and get things done. And we need more like her.
yeah, this could be very good.
So with her changing her affiliation to independent, she said one of the biggest things she's looking forward to is not having to go to Democratic National Committee meetings anymore. That on those days, she said she could sleep in.
That's nice.
I
She could literally have her hand in everything here, and
She really
be able
can.
to be able to either sway or not necessarily sway, but definitely have an opinion both ways and help convince one way or another. Maybe not convince. I don't want to say convince, but give options to both sides as a way of thinking. You know.
and she is she's proven herself to be an outside the box thinker, or outside the establishment, if you will.
And that's good. That's very good because
She really takes the time to look at what's going on, think about it, and try to get things moving in good directions. And in a way that's going to function for the country and not bankrupt us.
that's good.
So, I think it's a really good move. I'm excited to see how that's going to unfold. I mean, again, with the minority leader now on the House side being Hakeem Jeffries, Kevin McCarthy looking like he's going to be the next Speaker of the House. Those two know each other. They get along. They work well together. I see some good coming out of that. In a lot of the Senate, we still have a lot of the old guard. That's going to take time, folks.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this house plays out and what's going to happen here in the near future.
But the thing I'm looking forward to with the House more than anything else is they are showing a willingness now to get the old guard out of the way, bring in the younger blood, let them do the work now, and step back.
Yeah, get together and impeach Biden.
Actually,
And
I think they're going after a lot of them. Like they got a ethics investigation in the AOC right now.
Oh, they got
I believe the
big thing.
Democrats actually opened that.
Yeah, the Democrats did.
Yep.
And then they're going after Biden right now. They're doing that whole
They are
investigation
looking
on
into Joe
him.
Biden. They are looking into Hunter Biden. They're looking into the Biden family.
Yeah, and that's
They're-
not looking pretty.
They're already threatening Mayorkas with like leave or you'll be forced to leave.
And if I
Oh,
remember,
not Mayorkas. We haven't even talked about him.
man,
yet
come on, I
tonight.
don't want to lose the Dorcas.
There's plenty of dorks in Washington. You'll find a new one.
But he's the Dorcas, man. I don't want to
Yeah,
lose
none
the
with that
Dorcas.
name.
Yeah.
We'll find a new one to make fun of.
I mean, for crying out loud, the Dorcas is great for entertainment.
That ain't no joke.
The southern border is 100% secure,
secure.
Senator.
It's 100% secure. That's when you hear somebody in the background just like, "Hey, what'd he say?"
What did he say?
No, you heard the southern border, Mr. Representative, is 100% secure. You hear from Texas. Here comes the next bus.
There it goes. Where's that bus going?
You know,
Chicago.
in the last couple of weeks, because of my stance on the immigration issue, I'm going to let you guys know that I've already been very vitally criticized on my stance on the immigration issue.
No, you've been criticized?
I have been highly criticized for that. Which, I mean, as Troy's laughing about this, it's not my first time.
Yeah, because he gets criticized quite often about several stances in his life.
Correct.
So this is nothing new. I mean, we can spin a roulette wheel, and TJ has been criticized about this.
Yeah,
anything it lands on, he's been criticized.
Dude,
Dude,
it's
eat the
like
banana when it's green or yellow. Criticized.
Yeah. Take a pick. I'm telling you, and that's the thing. Is like you spin that wheel, and literally, I'm getting criticized on it.
You spun the wheel wrong.
Yeah, it's like it never ends.
Wait. Here comes the next person to criticize you.
Dude, that sounded horrible.
Yeah,
It
we're
was
gonna
my
get
phone. I
criticized
don't
for
know.
I was criticized on my stance with this. So I'm going to clarify for the critiquer
Uh-oh.
so they understand what my stance is. If somebody wants to enter the United States, go through the process and become a naturalized citizen of this country, or they want to legally get the work permit to work in the country and then go home, do it. I don't
Get a
care.
visa, get a green card.
Right.
Do what you gotta do.
Do it the right way.
And when that thing expires, go reapply.
Go
reapply
home.
early.
I know.
Get the extended stay.
I personally know a guy right now that every time I see him, I want to punch him in the face.
That'd be bad, dude. Don't even try it.
Because his visa expired 10 years ago from Canada,
Eh?
and he's still here.
That's why my camera's off, eh?
He's living off of our welfare system, our food stamps, our medical system, all of it, getting it here for free.
What's that all about?
Don't make me say it. I'm trying not to say it. I love the show, and I'm trying not to say it.
We don't say a boot.
About
Hey, guy. What's wrong with you? What you talking about?
But seriously, he's
Do
here.
I know
illegally.
this guy?
No, you don't.
Okay. That's good because I would
He's
be...
here illegally, living off of people, also getting all of this government assistance, getting a Social Security check somehow,
How has he not been flagged?
and he's still here.
Okay, is he living under a false name?
I don't know.
What's going on?
I seriously did think about, but we're in Illinois, and Illinois is all about the migrants.
Yeah, something ain't right though.
They're not, because Pritzker has put on hold any and all deportation hearings.
I worked with a guy. I worked with a guy once. He was from, I believe, Puerto Rico. His license said his name was Dan Aykroyd. Immigration showed up. He left. 2 months later, he's back as Bill Murray.
So what, was he just going to go through all of the Ghostbusters?
I think he was going through either all the Ghostbusters or most of the SNL cast. I'm not sure.
I mean, what was next? Lethal Weapon? He was going to come back and be Mel Gibson?
No, he was going to be Rick Moranis.
Going to come back and be Danny Glover?
Harold Ramis?
Joe
Harold
Pesci.
Ramis?
Winston Zeddemore?
Yeah.
What the heck?
What you talking about, Winston?
My name is. Can he come back as rerun?
No!
A flash to Friday night.
Yes.
You did look like a rerun.
Yes, he did.
There was no way around that. He looked like a rerun. That was
Yeah.
funny.
The band was good, and when Sage says, "Hey, check it out," the guy looks like rerun. I'm like,
Oh my god.
You got up out of your chair so fast.
I had to go
run.
look. I had to
You know,
go look.
I was like, dude, the trumpet player looks like rerun. You're like,
You
what?
did.
You run out there and you're like, I could never unsee that.
No.
I got
You know
pictures.
what? I really wonder if he went in there and he asked for, could you sign this to Tyler from Rerun?
We should have got an autograph for the show. All of us, and somebody could have took a picture of all of us. Oh, that would have been great.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean I could see that, honestly. Back to point. If they come here correctly, I don't got a problem. I'm okay with it. I'm actually happy for it because this country is the melting pot. You come here for a chance to succeed. When you start giving them everything that your working class is out there working for, and you hand it over to people that came over illegally and they have not tried, they don't want to try, you are literally taking what somebody else worked for away from them. And that is not right. And that's what I see when I look at illegal immigration. And everybody, let's not mince words here. It is called illegal immigration,
Yeah.
Facts.
not migrants. It was only until the Obama administration migrants came up during the Obama administration. Before then, they were illegal immigrants. The end. So, that was it. We'll bring that up on Wednesday when we do Mayhem, and I'll show that picture then. But you know, this is what we're looking at, people. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we see. And just because you change a term doesn't change what it is.
Nope.
The United States Code states what you need to do to become a naturalized citizen. Do it.
It's a process, but I mean, at the same time, it's worth it. And
It is.
you can do it. Get your green card, come up here and work. I think they're 12 months. You can come up here and work, get your money, and then you can reapply it at like the 10-month mark. You can
Right
reapply.
about, yeah.
Takes 2 months to process, and they'll be like, okay, and they'll probably submit it to go again for another year.
Right. So, I mean, that's what
As
you're
long as you
looking
have no
at.
violations, and
As long as you're not here being a tool, then the Immigration and Naturalization Service will continue to work with you.
don't break the law while you're here, because if you break the law while you're here, that gets revoked
Yeah, no
immediately and
kidding.
you're gone.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Be
it's really
good.
simple.
Keep
Just
your nose
do the
clean,
easy
do your
stuff.
job. Yeah.
Do your job, be nice, pay your taxes, and don't do like what Brittany Griner did, and we won't have any problems.
Now, Troy, you had a story for tonight, didn't you?
I did, but you took it.
Oh, well, you know. Well, I've got another one
Because
we can talk about,
great minds think alike.
I guess. I've got another one we could talk about. This one might get you guys going. Well, wait, Tyler, you said you had a few, didn't you?
I got one more.
You got one more? Good. I got to pee. Go ahead and start it off.
All right. I was waiting for
I was hunting. You don't pee when you're hunting.
AP to clarify this, and I just said, screw it. It's been a week. So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we were talking about all these other politicians right now that are being investigated, possibly being investigated in the next Congress. AOC is now officially under an ethics investigation. We kind of hinted this earlier. She's currently the acting chairwoman and active ranking member. Representative Susan Wild of a Democrat of Philadelphia, and Michael Guest, a Republican from Mississippi, did not specify what the investigation entails, but said the panel will announce its next course of action in the next Congress. The committee, which could dismiss the matter, is extending it into 2023 and noted that its statement on the probe does not itself indicate that any violation has occurred. Leaving the House after votes on Wednesday, Cortez said she was fully participating with the committee. Now, here's the big thing about this is that while they're saying, oh, this will go away, it's not. It's not gone away yet. There's a lot of people wondering what would she be under investigation for with an ethics thing. Some people look back at a ball she went to where she wore a dress that said tax the rich, which actually they found out that dress she had custom made cost her several $1,000s to actually get it done. This is actually just the first of several complaints and possible investigative material that has come up against Ms. Cortez since she took office. The most recent one was from the Conservative American Accountability Foundation, which they previously filed a complaint that the Office of Congressional Ethics should investigate Cortez for allegedly accepting an impermissible gift to attend the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute Gala last year. That was the one where she wore the dress.
Mm-hmm.
There's also been several reports that she may have been taking bribe money at this point, but so far there's nothing concrete. All we know is that she's under investigation. What the allegations entice and what they could be, we will know about in the next Congress.
Oh, wow.
All right. So essentially what we're looking at is a corruption charge.
It's a possible corruption charge. They're not saying what it is. They're being very quiet about it.
Why is it whenever I come back, he shuts his camera off?
Do you want me to eat on camera?
Oh, you're eating.
Turkey and cheese. That's more food than Brittany Griner got in Russia.
Very true. Very, very true. So no, you essentially have AOC coming up under what really literally looks like corruption charges.
Again, it's not really said, but it could be. We don't know.
The next thing is is this going to just die in the preliminary and get swept under the rug because she is so vocal on that very far left side?
Vocal.
Or
crazy.
Okay, some people call that. You call it crazy. I think she's wacko. Troy's got another word for it.
Uh-uh.
But the fact of the matter
Not
is,
the show.
No, I know, not this show. But the fact of the matter is when you look at this, she has the voting record that has pretty much supported every single move that's come out of this administration.
She be kissing their rears.
Is AOC going to just kind of go under the radar after, now that it's been brought up? Or is it going to be an actual investigation? And then who is the investigating body?
Let's see. Currently, the ones who brought up and announced it were Representative Susan Wild, a Democrat of Pennsylvania, and Michael Guest, a Republican from Mississippi. So it's both parties, technically.
Wow.
Okay.
So we actually have a bipartisan look
wow.
going into AOC and potentially moving forward with the see you later alligator.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, a lot of people believe this goes back to the dress that she wore at this gala back in September 13th of 2021. It was a white dress with emblazoned in red letters, "Tax the Rich,"
which I thought was tacky.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that that dress, they actually looked up how much it would cost. Let me see here. They're not saying which the dress was made from, but they said it would cost at least a couple $1,000s just to have that custom made to whatever specifications she would have wanted.
Okay, they're assuming what the dress would have cost, but they don't know the material. So all this is based off of an assumption.
The Met Gala is a black tie annual charity event that fundraises for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. Tickets to the star-studded event can cost...
Could have been a costume dress made out of sequins for all we know.
The star-studded event can cost $3,500,000, while tables can go for $300,000. Last year, the gala raised more than $16.4 million.
Holy cannoli.
House rules included detailed restrictions on gifts that can be accepted by members of Congress in an effort to avoid conflicts of interest. The rule lists some exemptions, including free attendance at widely attended events or charity events. Under the charity event exemption, the rules state a lawmaker can accept any unsolicited offer of free attendance to an event if it's a primary purpose. If its primary purpose is fundraising, or if more than half the proceeds are charitable contributions. So
loopholes.
Right. So what they're saying is, whatever this is, it depends.
Thank you, Irene. I needed a little snicker. And I could see where they would have to definitely alter one of Princess Di's dresses for Kim Kardashian's butt.
That's a big butt.
And I cannot lie. You
other brothers can't deny.
When a girl walks in with the itty bitty waist and round thing in your face, you get. Never mind.
Whatever it is, it's rumored it has something to do with this gala. It may not even be the dress at all. That might have been something she could have, like Troy said, made herself. It's a costume gala. But it could be something related to it.
And you were talking earlier during this that it could be something with donations and such, and
right, because they're not supposed to accept. They can't accept contributions at such events. They can't accept, like, oh, I hear you're getting ready for run a re-election. Let me go ahead and pay for your re-election bid right now.
Yeah, let me give you this check here and
because
help secure you and
because they would want that money to go to the charity event in question. So that's like, for example, say we're at I'll use everybody's favorite, Wrestling for a Cure. And let's say I walk up to Jason Wilhite, who's always talking about running for president. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give you $10 million right here to start your presidential campaign. He can't accept it because he's at a charitable event. He has to. He can't take it. He can take it later, but he can't accept the money right then and there.
We can use another event that's from a movie, Batman, the one that Wayne Foundation is hosting for Harvey Dent.
That's Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, yeah. And Bruce Wayne said, "With my friends, you'll never have to worry about a dime." And
right, but that was a charity. That was an event for him to
do that, and then
right.
Bruce wants to write him a check right then and there. But it's a charitable auction or charity event, and Bruce writing him that check right then and there, he couldn't have done it.
Right. So
we were
So
just talking about Senator Kirsten Sinema and her decision to leave the Democrat Party. Well, it's kind of funny because I do a little bit of digging, and lo and behold, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez pops up again.
wow, really?
Arguing that voters in Arizona deserve more and berated Senator Sinema for leaving the Democratic Party.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, AOC. It's not our fault she popped a brain cell.
She said not once does Sinema offer a single concrete value or policy she believes in. She lays out no goals for Arizonans, no vision, no commitments.
So just a few months ago, she was, oh, she's going to be great for Arizona. Now that she's left, she's like, well, no. Wow. Talk about backstabbing.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Senator Sinema literally did this for her home state just to be able to feel like she could effectively work.
I think it's a good choice, because one thing I will say, yeah, there are some people in the Democratic Party, I will say, do a good job. But then, yeah, people like AOC, you have people like Joe Biden, you have people like Jerry Nadler that are just going to push through everything and ignore everything, ignore logic, and get us into the situations we are in now. So if she wants to kind of show, hey, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to try and make it work for Arizona, let me show you how much I want to help Arizona, and cuts ties with the Democratic Party. This is the lady who's the governor of Arizona. She's the governor-elect of Arizona, correct?
No.
Okay, she's a senator.
Correct.
Okay, well, she wants to really, really show that she wants to help the people of Arizona. I will give her the credit. I will 100% give her the credit and say, look, you know what? She's doing the right thing. She's trying to prove herself. What better way to prove yourself than to cut ties with the party that everybody kind of has a horrible look at?
Now, and I mean, again, I'm going to go back and say this very pointedly. I don't like AOC's politics. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But she is pretty hot.
Well,
she is an attractive woman. But her policies are horrible.
If she could learn to just keep her mouth quiet, I think she'd be pretty good. But she can't.
When she talks, she does remind me of somebody.
Not Lori Lightfoot bit again.
I mean, she really does remind me of somebody. She reminds me of the flip of the coin to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
So you're basically saying that AOC is the equivalent of the Democratic equivalent of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Correct.
I can see that.
If you look at it, I mean, really, they're both on the extreme of their side of the aisle. They're the complete extremes.
Yeah.
And I really do honestly look at that, and I'm like, well, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene over here, but then you got AOC over here. They're going to cancel each other out every single time.
I'll tell you what we should do. We should put those two in a steel cage match.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I really do think that on that one, Marjorie Taylor Greene would win.
Winner gets a bag of peanuts.
I've got a cage and a ring.
There we go.
I would have to put my money on Marjorie Taylor Greene on that one because she's got just that little bit of extra crazy.
Coming this year to WrestleMania, it's Marjorie Space Laser Green against Alexandria. She can't shut up Cortez. Live Hell in a Cell for the WWE Idiots Championship. Don't miss
God.
WrestleMania 99 this April on pay-per-view.
They're only on 39.
I don't know. What
Yeah, I
number
thought
they're
it was
on.
Peacock now. What the hell?
I don't know what number they're on. It shows you how long it's been since I watched wrestling.
Jeez, Tyler. You're going to make me play it again just to say that's going to be who you vote for.
Wait, who's this? My God! It's Lori Lightfoot with a steel chair!
Thousands of new jobs and a pepperoni.
My God! Here comes Greg Abbott with a kendo stick! Hey, that's how we should start electing our officials. I'm serious.
Let them go against each other in a steel cage.
Irene, I want a taco. That's how we need to. We need to have a straight up UFC, WWE style pay-per-view where they fight each other. Winner gets the office. Irene, Marjorie Taylor Greene versus AOC. That's how we need to do it.
I would actually love to. I got to be honest. I would love to see AOC move into Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. And that actually happened in Georgia. Those two go against each other for that one seat. I would sit back and literally love every minute of that.
And if you win, not only do you get the office, you get a belt, a title to carry around. So next year it'll be Donald J. Trump versus Ron DeSantis for the #1 contendership to Joe Biden's White House presidency
Oh, good Lord.
at
dude.
Survivor Series.
At Survivor Series.
Come on.
You're serious. Good
Survivor
Lord.
Series happens in November.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't tell me this wouldn't be a bad idea.
Irene says Georgia Crazy is X Games mode. Yeah, I know. I've driven in Atlanta.
Well, let's see here. Donald Trump is already kind of fought in WWE, and he's
Oh,
a Hall
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
Famer.
Battle of the
yeah.
Billionaires. That's right. Him and Vince
Yeah.
McMahon.
He clotheslined Vince McMahon.
Yeah, he clotheslined him and stunned him.
Oh, we got a bot in the chat.
Oh, what
Oh,
the
I can
hell?
handle that.
Beautiful girls here. Hey, stop it. We're talking about putting Donald Trump and Joe Biden in a steel cage match. Go away.
Goodbye, bot. Chat room safe again.
Irene's like, y'all, there's beautiful girls here. Hey, our beautiful ladies, sound off in the chat. Where you at? We know Irene's in there.
Well, we'll save that. We'll save everybody from that bot.
I want
Oh,
to.
good Lord, Irene.
Hey, AOC or Marjorie Taylor Greene might get that kind of belt.
Right?
This is the wrong show for that.
But again, I would love to see that. I mean, on a hypothetical standpoint, when you consider the amount of crazy from AOC, and then you consider the amount of crazy from Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you put the two of them in an election contest against each other, I just want to watch the debates. I literally want to sit back and watch those debates because that will be great.
That would be a hell of a debate. Because you know what it's going to end up being. It's going to be like Trump and Biden's first debate, where they're just yelling at each other.
You know what it'll turn into? Do you guys remember the political comedy Head of State?
Yep.
Yes.
With Chris Rock? It's going to be like that debate. They're both going to be standing there going, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? That's what it's going to turn into. I would love it.
Tonight, we have the Republican primary debate. Boo. Then after that, AOC versus Marjorie Taylor Greene's debate. That's going to be sold out. There'll be people in
Yeah.
bars watching that.
People would be going. Yeah, it would be on the bar. They'd have to make it pay-per-view because everybody would love to watch that.
They're not going to have a moderator for it because the
They
moderator
couldn't
would just have to
moderate
be like, "What do I do?"
They're not going to
What
have a
do I do?
moderator. They're going to have like a referee, or they're going to have somebody who's going to hold the collars, make sure the girls. Don't
And you
try
know,
and tackle
it's
each
too bad
other.
that Miles Davis just passed away.
I know.
I know.
He'd be the perfect referee for this. And you know what? No, they need Stone Cold Steve Austin to referee this.
Oh God.
No, you know what? I've
Can
got
I get a hell yeah.
I've got a solution for the moderator.
I'm sorry, you said what?
I have a solution.
Well, you've got my attention.
I'm thinking Will Height moderate, and then Troy and
Frost?
and Frost. They're on either side of the stage like lumberjacks. So if one of them tries to leave, they're just thrown right back in to continue the debate.
AOC, are you ready?
2 girls, 1 belt.
I mean, yeah, but I seriously think Will Height should moderate it.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, they're talking about with the next presidential debates, they're talking about changing the moderation format because the last ones you had one that was a horrible train wreck, one that got canceled.
They need longer times.
One that got
for the
canceled
debate.
because the debate judge turned out to be in favor of Biden. He was from C-SPAN. The only good one they had, I think, was the one MSNBC hosted.
And that was actually a really good debate.
Because they were literally like, all right, look, you get a minute, then we shut your microphone off.
Yeah. That way Trump couldn't keep interrupting, which is what he did in the first one.
And then he didn't even care that his microphone was off. He just kept going anyway.
Yeah,
It was
he did.
great.
You heard him.
Yeah. It was great. He was just like, you know what? I don't care about this microphone. This is how it is. I'm just
But I
like,
mean, seriously,
Irene be the ring girl.
you would be ringside because Marjorie Taylor Greene's not going to move up to AOC's area up in New York. Or is it New York? I think, or
That's New York, yeah.
so I got to double check here. Yeah, she's
we need to meet in the
representative to
middle
New
and
York.
just do everything right in Illinois, right here. Bring it
She's
to
a
us.
representative to in the Bronx, New York's 14th district. So you're not going to see Marjorie Taylor Greene move to the Bronx.
I'll tell you who they almost got to moderate last year, who I think would be good. They had Joe Rogan almost moderate Trump and Biden.
Oh, Joe Rogan. Oh, my
Oh, you
God.
know what that's going to be? It's going to be Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC. He's going to be like, guys, you're both combative. Here, have some weed. Calm down.
But I want you to hear me out a little bit, okay? You're not going to see Marjorie Taylor Greene move to the Bronx because she would get out and die. I mean, that's going to be the end. She would die. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, on the other hand, could move to the district that Marjorie Taylor Greene represents in Georgia
And get an alligator thrown at her.
and then very potentially wind up running for that office there. And you'd have them two in that debate. It's just like a dream debate. I'd love to see it.
Well, I mean, you did have Buttigieg go down and try and become governor of Texas. So, I mean,
Yeah, that failed.
yeah, I don't know. I don't even think he's from Texas originally, is he?
No.
So maybe she'll just decide, I'm going to go calm down Georgia. Never know. Crazy versus crazy. Whoever wins, we lose.
It's going to be crazy around here whenever I run for mayor. So,
I mean, and again, I
Can't
will
wait
go
for
back
that.
to I will go back to and say this. I believe every elected official is working. I truly believe that they are all working out of what they believe is the right thing to do. Do I agree with their belief? No. But they believe it. So their belief, it's on them. What do you do?
You put them against each other and see who comes out on top.
Okay, so I was sent this clip that I want you guys to listen to. And this goes back to the rail strike.
All right.
Once everything loads up here. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the question that is at the top of this, let me lean over here so I can read it a little better. If a couple of rail companies can completely shut down the economy, I don't think they should have that power in the first place. Now, that is the statement at the top of this audio clip and what this lady is going to be referring to throughout this minute 44 seconds.
This is the conversation we need to be having. This whole thing is shining a huge spotlight on the fact that the economy doesn't work for working people. Because as much as we all want to support the railroad workers here and encourage them to go on strike, we can also recognize that doing that will hurt literally everyone else. So should something so critical to the functioning of a country be owned by like 4 people? Should a handful of billionaires be able to control the levers of the American economy and hold the American government hostage? That's the conversation we need to be having. This is bigger than Biden screwed over the rail workers. It's that the railway companies are holding the American government hostage by like exploiting the political tension and using that as leverage to avoid a strike. And they did it 100 years ago as well. So perhaps that is what we should all come together and start talking about. Perhaps instead of pushing for the union to get their 7 days paid sick time, we should push for federal legislation that gives all working people 7 paid days at least, or more. Let's go for 10. Like, we found the problem. And we're all kind of trying to figure it out at the same time. But what's frustrating about this is that everybody's so busy yelling at each other because they didn't get a solution that they had figured out was the correct solution, that they can't figure out that there's a potential solution here because we're all on the same team. But the question we need to ask is this one.
So there you go, everybody, right there. Now, that was put forward as a discussion piece. And their discussion is the way I'm understanding that she's speaking. She's saying that it was the corporate entities that shut down the rail. And it wasn't. Nobody got shut down. The rail, you have 4 major rail companies. Each one of those rail companies is controlled by a board of directors. They are publicly traded. And the unions for those, let me give you an idea of how corporate America really functions. Those companies do not want what they provide shut down because it hurts their shareholders' pocketbook. They're in it to make money. That is the purpose. If it's shut down, they do not make money. The union, the 4 unions of those 4 major rail companies that own the railroads in the country, said, we want 7 days paid sick time. The federal government, on order of President Biden, and I'm going to get to another part of this in a second, but on order of President Biden, the federal government, spearheaded by Chuck Schumer, pushed through by Nancy Pelosi, and signed by Joe Biden, told those unions in a voted upon, agreed policy, you will honor this contract and go to work, the end. Thereby setting the federal government up to turn around if the union decides to strike anyway, which of course that deadline has passed now.
Yep.
If the union had decided to strike anyway, set the federal government up to be able to sue said unions for breach of contract. Here's the rewind kicker that nobody wants to get. They weren't asking for much. This could have been handled as additional federal mediation between the union and the companies, not the federal government. The federal government stepped in and made policy bordering a law, forcing them to go back to work.
Which should have never been done.
And it was done, here's your irony, by the party that runs on saying they are pro-union. Comments? Troy.
This is far from over. This is far from over because you don't screw with the union. You just don't. We know that way back from the Hoffa era. Mm-hmm. You just don't do it. They could shut down anything just like that. You want to start with the railroad? Okay. Railroad decides it goes on strike, it will. They want to get in the ears of their buddies, the truckers are next. The truckers shut down, we're done, folks. Everything's done. Them highways are locked down. You don't get through that. No, if you're in a truck, you don't go through them other truckers. They'll let cars go by. You ain't driving through with a truck.
That's right.
No, it's the government doesn't know what it's doing, and Joe Biden definitely does not know what it's doing. Neither does his whole party. His whole party has no clue. That's all I got. You don't mess with the union. You don't. None of them.
Tyler, comments.
All right, so here's the question we should be asking, that lady should have asked is, where exactly did the Democrats screw up and screw over hardworking Americans and hardworking unions? 7 days was not included, and Joe Biden was like, we'll get to it. No, he's not. He's not getting to that. You know why? Because Joe Biden took the oath of the Democratic Party for the union and tossed it out the window to get this done. Now you have all these unions, and they're going to remember this. I hope they remember this come election 2024, that any credibility the unions have to help average American workers, whether it's the railroads, truck drivers, let's go a step further, shipyard workers, construction workers, You name it.
Miners.
Miners, there's a good one. Miners, for example, like working in the coal mine. Or the people who make TJ's camouflage. I can only see his head floating up there cleaning that cantaloupe.
Cleaning
Either
that
way-
cantaloupe.
Yeah, either way, regardless. The only thing Joe Biden did was avert something that he could have fixed easily. Instead, he took the easy way out and he plunged that dagger into the back of the unions. The question you should be asking yourself is this: not how do we prevent something like this from happening, but more importantly, how do we prevent the government from taking away your rights as an employee of a railroad or factory production? And how do you keep your rights as that individual without losing your job? Because I'll tell you right now, had the railroads went on strike, it would have sucked. Yeah. I would have supported them. What they were asking, that should have been like an easy, okay, there you go. Sign it there. There you go.
No questions asked. It should have been easy.
Should have been easy. I mean, what Joe Biden did was betray the very people who fund his presidency. And I'll tell you right now, Troy mentioned Hoffa. If Hoffa was alive today
And heard that. Ooh.
and heard what Biden did, what Bobo did, you would never hear. Jimmy Hoffa would have died from lack of oxygen on how loud he was yelling and how much he was saying.
Well, I think there would have been some movements with friends of Hoffa's too.
That's the question you should be asking: is when does the United States government overstep their boundaries for something like this?
No, and honestly, they did in this one. 7 days of paid sick time.
That's not a big ask.
It's not. But I'm going to come back to another point. I've never had 7 days paid sick time.
No!
At any job I have ever worked at, I've never had that. Not once.
They're asking for 7 days paid sick time for the year.
I've never had that, ever.
That's still not a big ask, and I think it should be instituted throughout all the companies. To be honest, you get what, on average, 2-3 days sick time.
Bow.
Yeah,
what
for,
I do,
for a job.
what I do now, since I have been driving professionally, I get 0.
You get no sick leave whatsoever.
I do not get sick. I have never once in my professional driving career that started 8 years ago, going on 9, no company has ever given me paid sick time off.
Wow.
See, that's weird. Even as like a gas station attendant, I've gotten paid sick time.
The most I ever saw was working security when I was going through college, and I got 2 paid days off a year for sick time.
I think every company should offer sick leave. Well, and then even through COVID, the COVID was the big thing that did offer paid sick leave.
Uh-huh.
And that's where it really started. And maybe that's where companies, and maybe that's where the railroad got the idea, oh, hey, we should be getting more paid sick time. Maybe they didn't get it.
That was the other thing with that company that I worked for, is those 2 paid sick days, they were use them or lose them.
Yeah. That's the thing, is you would use them or lose them, and they weren't transferable year by year.
No.
So yeah, they were use them or lose them. So
But no, I don't
up to the end of the year, I use them for Christmas.
The different radio stations I worked at, no paid sick time. the different car dealerships I worked at, no paid sick time. And now working in trucking companies, no paid sick time. I actually called into work. Troy, you probably remember this. I called into work for a company I was driving for, and told them that I was not feeling well. I had been throwing up, and I wasn't coming into work. And they told me if I did not come in, I was fired.
Oh.
I sent that dispatcher a picture of a toilet bowl full of vomit and said, "This just came out of me. I am not in the condition to be behind the wheel of that truck." And I was told to get in that seat and drive it to Chicago and make my regular delivery, or I was fired.
Wow. And see, thanks to Joe Biden's meddling, you got that. That's going to happen more often now. It's going to happen more often because now it's proven that you have no say because the federal government get involved. I mean, are they going to get involved with something as small as, like, say, making burgers? No. Truck driving? Yes.
I mean, on the sick time thing, I think 2 days a quarter would be plenty. That would be sufficient.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then here's the cool thing about it is I would if I had 2 days sick time per quarter, I'm going to be honest, there's going to be a couple of days every quarter I'm sick. I can't come in. I got the runs.
And your people will be like, well, you're right. You do have the runs all the way down there and the runs all the way up there. No. I'm
Yeah,
sick.
it probably would.
I'm not coming in.
I mean, the company I'm going to work for, because I will be a local driver for them when I get down to Texas,
It's probably gonna
they
be a lot
do
easier.
offer some sick time, but it's not 7 days. And no, I'll tell you what, one company that I worked for, I was on the road and I was on my way back from a delivery in Dallas, Texas. And I called my main office and I said, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm barely keeping the truck on the road. It hurts like hell. And it was in about the lower part of my back on either side. Well, you need to get that load back here on time. And I'm like, I'm thinking I need to pull into the VA hospital in Marion, Illinois, and go get checked out. And I was told to get the load back, and then we'll see how I was feeling.
Ah.
You don't mess with lower back pain. You just don't do that.
I got back, and they had to help me out of the truck. And I was put into the ambulance and rushed to the VA hospital in Danville. When I got to the VA hospital in Danville, they ran blood panels, they did extensive tests, they did all sorts of stuff. And then the doctor came in and said, you have a massive systemic kidney infection.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I said, what do I need to do? And she wrote me a note and said I was not allowed in the truck for a week so the antibiotics could take effect. I went back over to the office and I turned it in. And I watched it go through the paper shredder. And I got handed my dispatch for the next week.
Wow.
And I got told that I better get it whipped into shape in the next 2 days that I had off because I was needed back on the road.
You see, I would have recorded all that, and I would have made a copy of that paper, and I would have been like, all right, lost.
I would have went to a lawyer.
Yeah. But this is what Biden has done.
But no,
That was before Biden.
No, I mean, he's made it easier for them to do that now.
But here's where the kicker comes in. I am a part of the moving infrastructure of the country and therefore considered an essential worker. I have no rights.
Yeah. I was one of those essential workers during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, same here.
So, I mean, you think about it from that standpoint.
I was even more essential since I was asymptomatic.
Yeah, I never got it either.
I got the booster, and then a few weeks later, I got COVID. After Joe Biden lied a year earlier and said, oh, if I get the shot, I won't get COVID. Joe Biden lied.
And he's had it 2 or 3 times.
He got it twice. He was dumb enough. He got it twice.
You know what? I'm just really glad that pandemic was COVID. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if the pandemic was chronic diarrhea,
I would. Oh,
that would have been a very messy situation.
Well, it kind of is now because everybody's full of crap in Washington. So
I'm not, because COVID finally did get me, but that was back in January, and I was nearly died in the hospital because I went in for that severe dehydration because of food poisoning, and that's whenever I got COVID. And COVID did a number on my lungs and my liver and scarred me up.
But I mean, you get the idea where I'm coming from with this, because they didn't just classify me as an essential worker. I was up in the top tier of essential workers. So they turned around, and when it came to the books on rights and what I could do and what I couldn't do, that was thrown out the window. And I'll give you a great example is look at Wilhite and what he had to deal with just running locally.
Yeah, he worked his booty off.
Mm-hmm. Wilhite worked his tail in the ground.
let's see. I think me and TJ out of both shows, we're the only ones vaccinated, aren't we? I mean,
I'm not.
No problems if anybody is or isn't.
Irene's commenting now on, I'm glad it wasn't diarrhea. She says everyone would go out Oregon Trail style. You died of dysentery.
No. If this is the Oregon Trail, you go and you play the hunting thing where you run around, you got to shoot the bear shapes and the deer shapes. Somebody shoots a bat, that gets in your food. You've contracted COVID. What?
Oh, dang it.
What's a
I think
COVID?
they said it was a pendulum or something. What's a pendulum?
Did anybody ever even beat that game? I never did. I lost everybody by like the third mile.
I made it pretty far whenever I was in middle school. I was stuck in the library because our school didn't have an elevator and I couldn't climb the stairs because I just had total reconstructive knee surgery.
Uh-huh.
So I was in the library all day and they just brought my homework down to me. I did my homework and I'd sit there and play Oregon Trail on the old floppy disk. I sit there and play Oregon Trail all day long for like, it was probably a month and a half, 2 months straight. And I got really good at that game.
Oh my Lord, they have it online.
What, Oregon Trail?
Yes.
Yeah, you could download it and play it online.
Oh, no.
The original
They
version.
have it online. Oh my! I had to look. I had to find out.
You can download it to your PC and play online.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are fans of Mayhem Unleashed, tune in where we'll be doing a fire sale where the entire Mayhem Unleashed crew will be going on the Oregon Trail.
We'll
Right?
see who dies of dysentery.
TJ got a snake bite.
Oh my
Oh.
lord! I'm actually playing it. What the?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm actually playing it. I can't believe this. Oh man, be a farmer from Illinois. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll get you
I'm
done.
gonna die quick. What was the name of the first wagon leader? Joe Biden. AOC. Marjorie
Lori Lightfoot.
Taylor. Oh, no. JB Pritzker. Lori Lightfoot. I need a fifth one. Nancy
Pelosi.
Pelosi.
Throw Brittany Griner in there.
Oh man.
Brittany Griner
It
got
is
mauled by a bear.
1848. You are jumping off. You're jumping off place for Oregon, which is Independence, Missouri. You must decide which month to leave Independence. Oh, let's go with March.
Oh,
Before you,
oh Lordy,
you have
Irene dies
$400.
of syphilis.
You can buy whatever you want or need at Matt's General Store. Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. They're all Democrats, so no bullets, no guns.
Amount. Which item would you like to buy? 1. Enter. There are 2 oxen and a yoke. I recommend at least 3 yoke. Charge $40 a yoke. How many yoke do you want? 3. Oh, man. I want 2. Let's get food. Bill so far, 200 pounds of food.
They all got to be
It's 20
vegan.
cents a
Democrat.
pound. How many pounds of food do you want? 1,000.
That's all for JB Pritzker.
Total bill, $320. 4, ammunition.
No. They're Democrats. No guns, no bullets.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. 0. It's $2. All right, so you need clothing. Yeah, you got to get clothing, right? 2 sets. Let's do. I got $320 as the bill so far, so we'll go with 3. Leave them $20. Oh wait, no, it's $350 left. Spare parts.
I'm sure they all have spare parts.
How many wagon wheels do you want? 1. How many axles? 1. How many wagon tongue? 1. All right, $380. Now we'll go to ammunition. It's $2 a box. Got $20 left. How many boxes do you want? We'll go with 10 boxes.
No, they're Democrats. None.
They're at $400. Okay. So,
Oh man.
leaving Independence. Weather cold. Let's continue on the trail. All right, so I lost today because of a severe blizzard.
I'm waiting to hear him talk about. I'm waiting for the one to come up. Joe Biden has dementia.
One of the oxen is injured.
Well, JB Pritzker's going to eat that one.
Oh, hey, now we got a warm day. Now it's rainy. You are now crossing the Kansas River. Would you like to look around? No.
Yeah, you do. You want to figure out what you want to tax next.
You must cross the river in order to continue. The river at this point is currently 653 feet across and 8.2 feet deep.
Oh wow!
A
With
tip to
Pritzker
ford
on
the
board.
river.
You're gonna sink it.
I was gonna say,
Probably.
you got JB Pritzker and all that Democratic ego. It's gonna sink.
The river is too deep. You leave one set of clothing, 50 bullets, one wagon wheel, one axle, 166 pounds of food. JB Pritzker and AOC drowned.
Oh,
And 4 oxen.
wait, how many oxen did you have originally?
I had 6.
Oh, so now you're down to 2.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so we're coming up to the next one. Lori Lightfoot has typhoid.
Is that what they called lazy eye back in the day? Baldness?
You're at the Big Blue River. Would you like to look around? Yes. Big Blue River crossing. Let's check the supplies. No, forget that. Let's stop to rest. How many days would you like to rest? 1.
Let's check the supplies. How much of JB Pritzker do we have left so we go cannibal and go Donner Party on this crap?
Oh.
Oh, let's see. Wait to see if. Oh, forget it. We're going to attempt to ford it again. It's 3.7 feet deep.
Oh, you can get across that.
The river is too deep. You lose 555 pounds of food.
Oh, there goes what's left of Pritzker.
Pritzker's already dead.
No, we were going cannibal, remember? Donner Party.
Oh, so all right. Continuing, one of the oxen is injured.
Eat it.
Wrong trail, lose 3 days.
Oh.
Man, Joe Biden don't know where he's steering these oxen at.
Joe Biden's leading it. I think the game's making fun of Joe Biden. Lori Lightfoot has a broken arm.
Give her a pepperoni pizza. She'll be fine.
On top of typhoid? Oh man, she's doing
You are
great.
now at Fort Kearney. Would you like to look around? Yes. Let's go with attempt to trade. You meet an immigrant who wants 59 pounds of food. You don't have
No.
those.
You're reading it. You're wrong. You're reading it wrong. You meet another nation that has one of your basketball players and one of your Marines.
Right?
Oh man.
Change food rations. What's that all about? Let's check that. Filling, extra large and generous, meager. We're gonna go 3. Bare bones. 2. Check supplies. Let's see what's left. 2 oxen, 2 sets of clothing, 150 bullets, 1 wagon tongue, no more food, and no more money. Oh, they're gonna die. Go on the trail.
That sounds about right. That sounds like, ladies and gentlemen,
We're gonna send them back down the trail. The moral of this story.
don't
is
put Joe
anyone
Biden on
ever-
the Oregon Trail.
Well, I'm sure Joe Biden. Oh, Nancy Pelosi has dysentery. Nancy Pelosi has died.
Oh.
Severe blizzard, lose a day. The only ones left are Lori Lightfoot has typhoid.
Again?
Lori Lightfoot has died.
Freaking typhoid.
Inadequate grass. Joe Biden has a fever. Joe Biden has died.
So y'all know we're playing the Oregon Trail.
Yes, we are playing the Oregon Trail just for grins. Oh my God.
And
I cannot believe they actually had that
Hey, just so you know,
online. That
just
is
so you know,
great.
Greg Abbott's caravan made it to Oregon just fine.
Yes. Greg Abbott would have gotten a lot of bullets, no food,
He would have been
spare parts, and a little clothing. And then it would have been
that's
hunt
great.
for food.
Greg Abbott's caravan didn't starve because of the fact they brought guns.
Right?
Oh.
And then when they looked at the river, they didn't just try to go right across it. They're like, yeah, we're going to look and see if we can find a better spot.
No. They were more like, hey, Greg Abbott, you could tow the trailer. You could tow the wagon with your wheelchair, right? Yeah, I got it.
We are terrible. I'm sitting there. I put all the Democrats in there, and I'm like, okay, we're going to make this caravan happen. Joe Biden makes it out as the only person alive. Look, a dandelion.
No, he had a fever.
Yeah, he had a fever and he died. Probably being around Typhoid Lori, you know.
Where'd you find that game at?
I just went and Googled Oregon Trail and I found it online. I'm like, oh my God. You can actually play this thing still? I thought it was gone. Must be the last dandelion of the season.
I think I'm playing it right now.
What, you found it?
I think I found it, yeah. Yeah.
And it wouldn't take the 10 key. I actually had to use the top of the keyboard.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's like actually trying to play on an Apple computer.
It is, like, legit.
Yeah, it's literally like going back to the old IBMs where you had to put that big floppy disk in there to be able to play the game. So I'm going to skip something this week because we had a wild night Friday night.
Oh, we did.
But dude, you guys, I was going to talk about this on the other show, but I think I'm going to bring it up now to kind of give you a taste. Friday night was a good night out, and I took off with one of our listeners, and we were going to go hit another bar. And we get to the other bar, and there's police tape all around on 6th Street.
Oh.
There was a shooting, on 5th Street. There was a shooting in front of the bar.
Oh, I read about that.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like, yeah, there went that plan. What do you do then, you know?
You don't go to that bar.
We will get into everything in Flint, Michigan next time, and what happened as far as the criminal charges being dismissed against former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder off of the Flint, Michigan water crisis, and much more on the next News and Opinion. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to send them to any one of us. We'll be happy to answer and talk and discuss it. If you have a comment, send it to any one of us. We'll be happy to answer and discuss it. Don't be surprised if Tyler sends you a vulgar answer back if it's anything about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Facts.
All right, Donald Trump's wagon trail is leaving for the Oregon Trail right now.
Oh, all right.
Can't go well.
Troy, final comments.
It's been a very enlightening show. We hit some good topics tonight, and can't wait for the next one. I'm really glad we didn't do the flip the coin tonight because I was not prepared.
That's nothing unusual.
Yeah, and I do not want to go down 3 times in a row. Okay,
No comment.
lose 3 times in a row. You
Tyler, final thought.
Got a deer.
Got a deer.
You got a deer?
Yeah. Final thought. Oh, I got a buffalo. How do you move this guy? It's been so long. Final thought. Stay tuned for AOC versus MTG steel cage match to the death. Live.
Good Lord. This has been this week's edition of News and Opinion. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm TJ Serletich along with Tyler and Troy Ramsey. We will see you next week right here. Good night.
Oh, no, Trump's got dysentery.